Hi, I'm Mimi Pond. I'm a writer and a cartoonist, and I'm here in my studio in my home in Los Angeles. And I guess I'm here to talk about records and books that have been important to me in my life. I guess the first one would be Bach, his Brandenburg Concertos. I can listen to these any time of the day or night and still be happy, unlike, say, Vivaldi, which is like playing on every customer service line ever. I think I was introduced to Bach via the Walt Disney film Fantasia. They had the toccata and fugue. Especially Bach organ music is somehow very exciting to me, always has been. I've always said that I wish I had a toilet that after I had a good bowel movement would play "A Mighty Fortress Is Our God." I grew up with two brothers, an older brother who, like all boys I knew in my entire life, they completely overrode my opinion on any music I might like, and this is very typical of the experience that all women have had with, like, where boys just turn around and tell you as teenagers that no, they know what the good music is. You have no say in it. They're going to let you know, and you don't even have a right to have an opinion. So when I discovered Tom Waits, who is incidentally from my hometown, I was just absolutely riveted. This was like the beginning of my own musical opinions finally coming out. Here was something that spoke to me directly.
Baby, I wear a tie. We'll laugh at that old bloodshot moon in that burgundy sky.
Eventually, I contacted and became friends with Tom Waits, who became a very important early mentor to me. I can't overstate how important it was that he looked at my work and talked to me about it and validated my ideas. And I don't think I could have become the artist I've become without his influence. And of course, once you know about Tom Waits, you have to know about, lounge music, and you can't talk about lounge music without talking about Frank Sinatra.
I got no car, got no mule, I got no misery.
Frank Sinatra is everything. I did have an actual male hero music mentor in my life besides Tom Waits, and that was my good friend Gary Lambert, who I think now does a serious radio show about the Grateful Dead. But when he was my customer at Mama's Royal Cafe in the 1970s, he was working in a record store and stealing records for me. I think this was one of them. So he introduced me to Frank Sinatra, and it was glorious. In terms of comedy and humor, you can't not know about Mike Nichols and Elaine, who are just absolute geniuses. And I listen to this over and over, and it's just stupendous.
And yet when you looked at me, you didn't look at me as though I were a woman with a rotten tooth. You looked at me as though I were me. And for the first time I knew who I was, me.
And without Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers, there would not be punk.
She cried, I'm hurt, you're right.
And I have to tell you, this was just like a delicious grapefruit sorbet on the palate of someone who's had been listening to horrible folk rock and arena rock in the early to mid 70s. And along came Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers, and everything was different. It was just stupendous.
Pablo Picasso never got called an asshole. Not in New York.
So those are my albums. I can't think what my life would be like without this woman and this book. The American Way of Death by Jessica Mitford. It's an expose of the American funeral industry that was not only caused great changes in the funeral industry, but it's funny as hell. And Jessica Mitford is one of 6 Mitford sisters about whom I am currently working on a graphic novel. And there were 6 of them. They all had wildly disparate opinions and beliefs, and they just kind of formed an arc over the entire 20th century, and they knew everyone from Hitler to Churchill to Maya Angelou and Huey Newton and everything in between. I mean, they just are the 20th century, and they had very exciting lives. They all said they were going to do things when they were children, and they did. Each of them did that thing that they said they were going to do, which is amazing for being women of their time. So, another fabulous woman is Lucia Berlin, who I befriended in the late 70s in Oakland, California, after I read something of hers that was in a local alternative weekly newspaper, and I looked her up in the phone book, and I called her, and she invited me over for coffee, and we became good friends. She wrote, this was one of her earliest published books, and this was a collection that came out after her death in about 2012 or 2014. It's called A Manual for Cleaning Women.
Cleaning women do steal. Not the things the people we work for are so nervous about. Today I stole a bottle of Spice Island sesame seeds. Mrs. Jessel rarely cooks. She has 15 bottles of sesame seeds. 14 now.
This has become a massive worldwide bestseller, and I'm so happy that she finally found success, even if it was after her death. And damn it, I was right. I was right. And then there's this book, which is my everything, Harriet the Spy by Louise Fitzhugh, about a little girl who's about 11 who spies on all her friends and neighbors in her neighborhood on the Upper East Side of New York.
Sport, what are you going to be when you grow up? You know what? You know I'm going to be a ball player. Well, I'm going to be a writer. And when I say that's a mountain, that's a mountain.
I wanted to be Harriet the Spy. I wanted to live in New York, and I carried a notebook around like Harriet did, and I took notes on everything and everyone. And today I'm Harriet the Spy. So that's about it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you around.